What comes to your mind when you think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links? Is it something more nostalgic like the anime?
If you've not yet seen Farha's video on this subject, go ahead and watch it now.
Farha made a brand new video about the decline of Duel Links.
Yeah, right, it's me, Mekklord. I just wanted to share my opinion.
Views, okay? It had 32,000 views on the first day.
Let's do this. So I am continuing the trend, the meme, okay, that basically what Farha kind of like posted about Duel Links, and I'm like so happy, so stoked, because it's just like, I think Duel Links should get more attention or more credit than what I think it actually does get. And I think a lot of people think Duel Links is like not as good as Master Duel, but you know, that's maybe like a topic for another video. But what we are doing today, we're basically reacting to the reaction of what Team 6K reacted to, which basically Mekklord also reacted to, which TB Armies also reacted to, which Loom reacted to. So we're basically all doing the trend, the meme, and reacting to Farha's video somewhere over here, okay? Basically, this is my 2 cents, my ideas of what I think about the whole situation. But, you know, I just want to thank all of those guys for basically supporting Duel Links, talking about Duel Links, and just bringing, you know, more attention into the Duel Links world. Because I feel like Duel Links, again, has so much potential. It just doesn't really reach that potential, which is kind of sad. But it could. So I'm going to give my 2 cents. So let's kind of dive right into it. So when they are talking about Duel Links can be a grind, it is 100% a grind. So I started playing Duel Links back in 2022 when pendulums were first kind of like already into the game, I guess, when pendulums were in the game. But yeah, I didn't really like Duel Links when it first came out, which is weird because it's like, yeah, it was cool to play that old school Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember downloading it when it first came out, but it like just felt a little bit too slow for me. Like it was like, and some people really like that slowness, but like I downloaded it and I was like, wow, like why would I play this when I could play like the modern game back when it first came out, which was what, 2017 or something? And I was like, I could do way more stuff. And it's like, I can't, like, it had some fun, but you know, it was like very limited when it first released. And like, that was, I mean, you know, that was kind of like the whole trend, the whole point of it, was trying to get people back into the game, trying to, you know, nostalgia, trying to get people to feel like the old school kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Feeling. But, you know, I just like it how Yu-Gi-Oh! Just constantly evolves, and I really think it's like one of the best, if not hardest strategy games out there, for at least card games. And I love strategy games because it really makes you like think and like have to like build like a really good deck. But like the more mechanics I think you have in the game, yes, maybe it's like a turn off to some people, but I just feel like it's just like I have more options. I can do so much into this game on just like one single turn, and that's what makes like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! I think so attractive. It's like trying to feel like, oh, when can I pull off this sick ass combo and kill someone in one turn, right? Or yeah, it's, you know, maybe not fun, but like it can be that, you know, which is cool. But that's also like a double-edged sword, because like when you just focus on the competitive side, it's like you're losing all the fun, you know, aspects. A lot of casual players, a lot of just people who are just trying to like, you know, play because it's kind of like something that's fun to play and not trying to like always compete necessarily on that competitive level, because when you compete at that level, it's just like it takes the fun out of it sometimes. But yeah, in order to be competitive in Duel Links, you have to grind, you know, like, and I play like every single day, and I play like all the events. I try to harvest all the gems, you know, and I feel like if you play every single day for every single season, you know, I'll try to get at least like 50 wins. I'm not trying to be like king of games or anything. I'm just trying to get 50 wins, because if you get 50 wins, you get a UR rank card, which a lot of times, which pisses me off, because like you can like I think TB Army and Loom kind of mentioned this, but it's like I'm trying to build this deck, right? And I can't really build this deck because one of the cards I need for the deck is locked behind like a rank level up system, and like in order to get like a UR rank ticket, you have to get 50 wins, and that's not always that easy, especially if you're kind of just starting off, you know, like, yeah, when you're at the lower level and you're ranking up, it's not hard, right? People don't really have good decks, but once you get higher level, it's like, holy crap, I can't even beat anybody. So like I found out that like if you just play every single day and try to like harvest and do every single event and just try to get like 50 wins, you know, like the bare minimum that you can do like the most possible things within the month, you usually can have around close to enough gems to buy like the next release of the newest pack. So like if I do everything possible that I can harvest and grind and get as many gems within that season, when they release the next new pack, I usually have enough gems to almost purchase everything in the pack, at least like once. And I'm not a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. Like, I appreciate it. I think it's cool if you want to try to compete at that level. But me, I think what makes Yu-Gi-Oh kind of like so cool and so unique, and this kind of really brings up my second point. So yeah, my second point is like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh at its core, it's kind of like a card game, like a trading card game, right? But me personally, I think Duel Links is kind of like nostalgic, kind of like anime. It's supposed to be like, you know, meant to feel like you're living throughout the anime again, you know, and telling this anime story, kind of over in a sense, in its own unique way. But I view it more as like a RPG, you know, like a role-playing game. Because I think it's meant like you're meant to be playing as that one of those characters from the show, right? And you're trying to like relive what that character experienced, what that character did. But like, I feel like, you know, they should really lean in on this ideal, you know, like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is a trading card game, but it's like a RPG of a trading card game, because you're trying to basically create this character, so like hopefully in the future like you can customize and create your own characters. Like I loved it back in the day when they had this Yu-Gi-Oh 5D game, like I think it was like Yu-Gi-Oh Online or something it was called, but you could like customize your own character and you could like put like those little like security marks on your character and stuff like that, and it was like cool. It was like, yeah, I can make my own like individual character, and then I can like put my own individual ideas into the deck. So that's why I'm not really like a meta player, because like I like building unique decks. I want to put my own ideas into the deck. I don't want to just copy and paste what other people do, you know? I'll take some ideas from maybe some meta players and put a couple of those ideas into my deck, but I'm not trying to build a meta deck. I'm trying to like make my deck not crap either. I'm trying to make, there's maybe like a balance, you know? But yeah, I think Yu-Gi-Oh or Duel Links is kind of like a RPG at its core. That's what I feel like, and I feel like it gets a bad rep because, you know, people won't maybe like the speed duel portion of it, but I feel like, again, Duel Links has so much potential. Like, you could go so many areas and so many directions in the game of Duel Links, and like hopefully when they did the demo, you know, for the VR, the virtual, you know, online system, it was basically a connection to Duel Links, you know. And I feel like Duel Links also has a story, right? It has this story built into the game. It continues from the Brains kind of like anime series, because that ended very abruptly. It ended kind of like faster than what it was supposed to. So like, it's cool that this game picks up that storyline and continues that storyline. And if you haven't kept up, it's like you have these characters from the Brains world who are basically seeing all the other main characters from every other series, and even like Rush characters. So it's like trying to connect everything together, and I feel like they haven't really did too much with it yet. And hopefully, I think they're trying to, you know, get everything out from all the characters and like all the other storylines from all the other animes. Like, once everything is finished, it's like, where do you go, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I'm just really excited because I feel like if they start adding like all these cool things and ideas into Duel Links, you know, like have a VR extension where you can like play in VR, okay? Use your account, have all your cards that you had from the previous account. And then if you ever looked at Duel Links China has like this really cool like Duel Links, it's its own like unique kind of version. It's not like us. But they have like this 5th area that you can go to. It's kind of like, I think, the Monster Zone area or something. And you can battle like other dueling spirits. You can unlock cards like that. But they also have like this cool like online I think it's kind of like similar to like a draft duel. So you're like, they'll have different cards, 3 different cards that you can pick from, and you can kind of like pick out of those decks or those cards to make and form a deck. And then you kind of play people online. Like that would be so cool if we could get that into the game of Duel Links here. You know, like everything that they have in China for Duel Links China, bring that to America. You know, so it's like you have all these like ideas and like things that you can do to make this game better. Like I would even argue try to like make it very similar to Master Duel, so you can bring back maybe some of the Master Duel players, because when Farha was basically, you know, saying like, hey, when Master Duel was released, like you lost half the player count for Duel Links because they basically went all over to Master Duel in a sense. Yeah, we lost a lot of maybe like players, and like a lot of people are downloading the game, but maybe they're just downloading the game to get like rewards for like Google Play rewards or something like that, and they can use those rewards, you know, just because they downloaded the game, but they're not necessarily logging in, creating an account, you know. And then it's like the incentive when you make new accounts, it's like what are you doing to get people started and make the game easier so it's not as much of a grind, you know. Like I feel like all these older cards, you know, you should just make them tradable for like gold, or, you know, not necessarily use gems, you know, make them gold or something, like, so these newer players can easily get a lot of cards for free or very cheap, you know, and then you can sell all the newest releases for like money, so you can still make some profit or something. I don't know, like if you want to be a competitive player, you know, you're gonna have to pay, but like if you just want to play for fun, you should have like a free entry, you know. There shouldn't be like a barrier, you know. And then if you want to slowly get better, then that's when you can slowly buy or upgrade or, you know, grind to get those better cards or something like that. But there's a world, I think, that you can have like competitive play and, you know, casual fun play, you know. And the fun casual play is being kind of neglected, and I think maybe that's why like Mekklord, I messaged him on one of his videos, and like I said, hey, you shouldn't, you know, try to stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh, or try to just play casually, you know. But he's basically commented back, and he said like, I'm too competitive to play casually, but I'm like too casual to play competitively. So it was kind of feel like he's kind of like in this weird spot where it's like he's not having fun, you know. That's what it comes down to. It like you can have fun being a competitive player, but maybe after you're a competitive player for so long, it's like it doesn't feel fun anymore. Or, you know, you were a competitive player, but then like you haven't played in a while, and then you try to get back into it, now your deck is not as good, so now it's like you can't really compete as much, so it's not really as fun, because you have fun when you compete at that competitive level. So it's like, you know, it's hard to please everybody. Maybe that's why he stopped playing the game. But hopefully, you know, we can bring these people back. Maybe we can convince Farha, well, try Duel Links, you know, like what are things we can have a conversation that we can, you know, talk about that makes Duel Links more fun, or we can try to like have Konami hopefully, you know, make it more fun. So it's not just like a dying game, and it's basically, you know, trying to bring back those players and that download content and make the game better, you know. That's what I'm trying to do. Maybe there wasn't as many content creators when Duel Links first started releasing, and DK was probably the biggest one, and I wasn't even around at that point. But I feel like now there's a lot more content creators for Duel Links, but yet like there's not as many Duel Links content creators as I think Master Duel, and I think a lot of Duel Links content creators don't get as many views or followers as other Master Duel content creators. And maybe because Master Duel has more players, maybe Master Duel is more popular, you know. But like I feel like Duel Links could be that thing, you know. Duel Links could integrate Master Duel and Speed Duel and Rush Duel all together in the one spot. You could have different formats to play different ways of Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like it could be like the hub of all Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay? So like maybe we can bring like Master Duel, or ways to bring Master Duel into Duel Links. I was thinking like of having a skill called 5 zones, where you give the player 5 monster zones, 5 spell and trap zones, which the pendulum skill is included into the 5 spell and trap zones, okay? And in order to use a skill, you have to use a minimum of like 30 cards, because Duel Links it's only like 20 to 30 cards. But if you make it so they have to use 30 cards, and you give them 5 zones for spell and monster zones. And then we basically add a main phase 2, okay? Konami, you should add main phase 2 into Duel Links and give players the option that they can turn main phase 2 on, or they can leave it off. They want to save some time. But like when you add main phase 2, when you add that skill for 5 monster zones, 5 spell and trap zones, okay, and you have to play with a 30 card deck, at that point the only difference between Master Duel and Duel Links is basically Master Duel will have around 40 card deck, okay, and you have 8,000 life points instead of 4,000 life points. So like it's very similar, right? And you still have the option to not play that skill, and you can play any other skill and still play it like 3 zones, like a speed duel format, and you have rush duel. And I know maybe a lot of people do not like rush duel, and I think when rush duel first came out, yeah, it wasn't fun. They didn't have a lot of cards. Like, I didn't really care for it. But then like over time, when you started adding more and more cards into the game, adding new features like equip cards, fusions, okay, it started making rush duel a little bit more fun to play, you know. And I just mainly play rush for like the gems when there's an event, but like I started seeing like the appeal, you know. And like when I was getting my ass kicked online for, you know, speed duel, you know, when I was trying to get wins to get up some gems, you know, if I couldn't win in speed duel, I would usually jump over to rush duel. And usually I don't really compete that much in rush duel, so like when I have a decent rush deck that's not super good but like decent, I can usually start making some more wins to get some more gems. So it's like having more options for people to play, you know, having the draft duel, winning like gems and rewards with the draft duel. If you could have like tournament, you know, like tournament play, amp that up, right? Have people host their own tournaments, kind of like a local thing, like when you have to go to the TCG and play it at locals at a game store. You can sign up your account to be like an official tournament person. I'm new to YouTube, so subscribe to the channel, Paradox Twins, okay? It's me and one of my other friends, okay? And I'm running out of storage, so I'm gonna kind of sum things up. Yeah, skills I think are kind of fun in the game, and I know a lot of people do not like them, but I think it adds a new twist into the Duel Links format. Some skills I agree are way too overpowered, but I think you should be, again, if you can make a competitive like world and like a very casual world, and they both can get cool like rewards from, you know, and maybe like the casual you limit to like this kind of card pool, or like every season it's like you have to build a deck with these kind of cards or use these kind of skills only, you know. I think there's a way for both worlds to exist. But yeah, I know Loom and everybody else was talking about skills and how skills can change the game, but I think in a way it's good, but maybe don't overpower them, okay? I know when Y-Relps kind of like recorded a reaction to Farha's video, he said like Duel Links is more popular in Brazil than it is in other parts in the world, so that's like a big difference, you know, like where you're playing in the world. Like Duel Links will have more popularity in some areas than other areas, so that will affect the numbers, okay? I know when we talk about Team 6K, love you guys, you were talking about the negativity on Discord, how people talk so negative about Duel Links, and I just feel like, yeah, we need to talk about the things that we want to see in Duel Links instead of just being negative and bashing it. But we can start to, you know, hopefully start a conversation and talk about more and more and more, so Konami can hopefully see what the players actually do want, so we can fix and change these things, okay? And I just, again, it has so much potential. It's not reaching that potential, but let's try to really fix the game. So hopefully you guys like this reaction. This is my, I think, first reaction. I don't know how good it was, but like I'm running out of storage. So like, follow the channel, and Paradox Twins, see us in the future.